Special crypto price update over the weekend, friends. I am squeezing in this video for you just to show you what is going on. We're watching a bit of price movement over this weekend. It is nothing really to be concerned about because, you know, we are so far low. But I want to let you know as well, friends, so we are still at war. That's why I got the helmet on. And also, we've got to be reminded of something, okay? Most people, Uncle Bobby, BCB, Ivan, Shitio Larson, I could go on and on and on and on. Incest answers, Ben Copen, literally name all the biggest crypto KOLs. Most of them believe this rally will fail like all the others. They are all believing it's a relief rally. You're going to hear the word relief. Okay, not out of desperation. Okay, they're not saying it, oh, please get a relief so I can get out. No one's saying that, okay? What they're saying is, can't wait for the relief bounce so I can get short. Or I could, like, get out the rest of my 20, 30% of their portfolio, okay? Also, Chris Berninski as well, he's literally come out and he's tweeted, he goes, oh, we're due for a relief that's going to fail and get smashed down like all the others. Could happen, I don't know, okay? This is where we sit right now. This is over the weekend. I want to probably show you as well. If we go and look at Bitcoin over the CME gap. Okay, so it's going to pretty much be 84,000. This is the CME. So yeah, it's where it's closed, it's going to be about 85,200 actually. This is the Bitcoin CME futures. All right. So it's at 86,200. So pretty much this is where it would be like right now. So obviously this thing's going to move around, right? And we're going on very, very short time frames here. So it's not the end of the world, but overall you get to see the picture of where we're at. And I'm going to show you my channel of friendship here. So I want to remind you of something, friends. Half a year ago, okay, 5, 6, 7 months ago, remember Blockchain Backer? He was talking about this chart pattern, friends. You remember I kept showing you he had his fractal of Bitcoin. Okay, remember we couldn't see the right-hand side, but I have now a BTC chart here. Okay, when we were up here, okay, I'm just going to show you what we were doing, okay? When it was literally, friends, back here we go, around Julie, all right? He believed there is one more push up. You know, he's expected 130 or 150 or whatever, but it stopped like 125. One more push up, and then it's all over, all right? And I remember back then, so why I'm sharing this with you is I was thinking about this from a rational mind. It hadn't happened yet. It was totally flip the coin. Okay. And if you remember, friends, I was drawing this and I said, well, I have a feeling if it played out, it would get back down here and you could be able to draw a channel somewhere like that. Okay. Where everyone thinks it's over and then this is going to be the critical moment. All right. It's actually what's happened. It's actually what's happened, which is crazy. Now, the thing is, I didn't expect this to literally be still dead for altcoins. Because you got to remember, friends, when we were talking about this, it was like back 5, 6 months ago. So, you know, the PMI is so low and it already gone for like 31 months at that point. And I was thinking, I was hoping, I was like, man, are we really going to be like 36 months of negative 50 PMI, below 50 by the end of the year? Now, here we are. So it did happen. That's why I wanted to share it with you because this is the actual channel of friendship. It's where we are right now. Now, friends, this is funny. When everybody was showing the 81,000, we hadn't closed and we're actually hanging around here. But actually, it's kind of cool. We are now back in the channel. So that's why I'm giving this price update, just to show you that we're actually holding here, but no one's saying we're holding. If you actually look at consensus, everyone believes that's going to be the moving average coming down. Everyone says, don't worry, this rally is going to fail like all the others, and it's going to basically be plunk. Everyone is already targeting 55 to 75K. I've got to tell you something, friends. Look, man, I know it's tough for me to like swallow, friends. You know, I've swallowed a lot of things in my life. Orange juice, apple juice, sparkly water, and non-sparkly water. But the bull market, it ends when you run out of buyers, man. So friends, these people who have sold, all right, they have bids from 45 to 65, literally 45 to 75. Actually, they have bids here. They're ready, and they're ready for it to, like, you know, come back down next year. So that's not like the end of a cycle stuff. Now, I'm not the arbiter of and the controller of these. I don't know, but end of cycle stuff, bro. Bull markets end when you run out of buyers. You guys have clicked sell, and now you're just leaving your bids. There's buyers left. What does that translate to? What it translates to, friends, is in the event where it doesn't do what they think and it actually breaks the high next year, you know, all these bids, friends, that are down at 55 to 75, they have to come and chase it higher. And they will. They will. All right. If we get that. That's what I wanted to show you. So they're sitting on the sidelines. And you know, might say, but Somi, okay, what if bad news comes out for America, it goes into a recession, and then they don't print money? Let's say they hike interest rates and everything goes down. Okay, dude. Well, basically, it's like saying, oh, it's been garbage for 4 years. What if it's garbage for another 1 year or 2 years? All right, well, it's garbage then. We've accepted it. Okay? Remember, it's year of the snake as well. On top of this, friends, I've got to show you this chart, which is going to tie into stuff, okay? This is Bitcoin with global liquidity, all right? Now, I have that chart. I've got that I've shown you on other fractals, but this is interesting, okay? See, most people are saying, and this is true, right? Bitcoin, friends, it's like the canary in the coal mine when it comes to liquidity. So Bitcoin tops out first, and then liquidity rolls over later on, right? Because we're very sensitive to it. However, I mean, even if you go back to 2022, look when they stopped the QE, all right? But this is, you understand something as well. You see here, this is the top of 2021 in Q4. Right here, major loser Powell came out. He actually said in the November-Feb meeting of November 2021, I think, or maybe November-December, mid-December. He said, okay, we're going to stop QE, and we're going to tighten, and we're going to raise interest rates. We have to stop inflation. And then crypto immediately sold off. So what I'm actually do is I'm going to come and show you those big capitulations. You can actually see right here. So we had topped out, we came out, and then here was the US Fed, boom, where they said, hey, we're going to have to hike rates, okay? Now, this is the juicy chart, okay? The green line is global liquidity, okay? Obviously, gold line is gold, and then the red line is the tether market cap. So I'm going to come back. I'm just going to show you what it actually looked like back then, so we can get an idea, like getting a closer look. What we can do is we can move gold and we remove tether. So now it's just Bitcoin with global liquidity. And by the way, friends, this is an offset. This is an offset, okay? Just so you know. So you gotta remember, all right, even if we move the offset to 0, which I'll show you. So default is 86. This is a default to 0, all right? This is what they actually did. Do you see, friends, how they stopped adding liquidity March, April, May? You see that? They started hiking. And look when Bitcoin topped out November. So it was like 5 months ahead, crypto started pooping the bed. By the time they actually started exiting the liquidity, crypto capitulates. Okay? So now I've just put the base of the offset back again. So you understand now, right, how it worked out. So this is why it's an interesting spot now. Because you're like, okay, Somi, if they dropped liquidity last time, like the US Fed, major loser, the deep state, they came out, they actually said, literally, they told everybody, we're going to be doing no more of the balance sheet expansion. And I actually have that here on this chart. So you can see it. You see this, friends? See the white line is the US Fed balance sheet. You see how they were, look at right here, friends. So they still had they still were doing QE, all right? This is why I'm still long altcoins. Look how much they front run. See Bitcoin, look when Bitcoin topped out, friends. It topped out here, but the US Fed say we're going to tighten, and look when they started. They started in May of next year. So they tell you, hey, we're running out of the QE stuff. We're going to have to tighten next year, and then the balance sheet starts rolling over in May. All right, but look what happens, friends. By the time the balance sheet is actually rolling over, look how far crypto's down. Altcoins are down 75%. It was front running it. All right. So where does that bring us to today? Well, today we can see right here, the US Fed, they've told us, right, this thing, it's stopping now. They've said December 1st, no more QT. Right? So it's just a matter of time, I think, right? This thing's it's rolling the other way. Like they're already opening swap lines. The US Fed, they've actually come out, they've made comments. There's Stephen Moran, they've actually made comments, yeah, we're going to have to expand the balance sheet. They just don't say the words QE. They just don't say that. Okay? So that's why, to me, I know it's tough because Bitcoin dominance is high, but I see altcoins. I'm like, dude, like, as a strong hand, I know you're going to have to expand the balance sheet. It's just, the discrepancy is from where? Is crypto going to be 80% lower with the stock market? Then you're going to expand the balance sheet? That's why you don't know. That's why it's really for believers only, And that's why also I'm just here to warn people. If you think you're going to be given a free Hail Mary where you sit on the sidelines, the world economy crashes, and then the Fed cuts rates to zero and gives you QE again, I'll just tell you, be careful, because I don't think you're going to get that. I don't think you're going to get that. Firstly, everybody remembers, number one. Number two, they have different swap line weird stuff now, where they do QE, but they call them different words. Reverse repo, treasury, BTFP. They have these different facilities, which is just digitally Google, Excel, Microsoft Excel sheets, where they print money and they swap through, but it obfuscates everything. Back then, years ago, they just had one general thing it's just called QE. Now they put all these words, it's shadowy, it's blurry, but what they're doing is they're basically just printing money, they're feeding it out. Okay? Why? Because if they say the words QE, it hits the media and they think it's deflationary, it hurts the US dollar, and basically it's counter to their inflationary goals. They don't want to stoke inflation. They don't want people to think, free money handouts coming in, because that means you desecrate the US dollar. Okay? And also it could harm their bonds, the bond prices as well. So this is where it leads us to today, friends. So that's why I'm going to come back now. I'm going to show you the liquidity chart. Okay, now you have the context here where we are right now. Do you see this divergence here? This is a huge divergence. So the white line is obviously Bitcoin's price chart. The green line is global liquidity. So we are at a point where the US Fed's cutting rates. All right, they are cutting rates. Unemployment rate's ticking up, so they have to cut rates. They have to inject liquidity. Okay, and you definitely have them, like they've said, hey, we're stopping quantitative tightening. So their balance sheet's going to go up. So global liquidity, that has to go up. It's going up. But obviously, is there going to be a deflationary bust? That's why everyone's scared. Is something going to pop first? I don't think something's going to pop first because we're all expecting it to pop. Everyone's saying the words bubble. Everyone's expecting, that's why I just don't think it's going to happen. And what we might find is this is what I'm guessing, all right? This is what I'm just guessing, all right? What I'm guessing, friends, is, and remember, total guess, all right? Where, let's say, okay, next year could be a horrible bear market. It could be. It could be 1 to 10-year bear market, 100-year bear market, all right? But if it's not, all right, if it doesn't go down and it goes up, what I feel like would happen is, you see all these 4-year cycle Jeets? If they get the worst scenario for them where they are forced to buy back the high, I feel like the environment of global liquidity being spammed everywhere, it will be a repetition of 2021 QE narrative, where they'll think, oh my gosh, global liquidity keeps going up. They have to keep all printing money. It's liquidity all over again. I'm liquidity maxi now. I'm a liquidity maxi. And that might actually get them to buy higher. And also, you got to remember, if Bitcoin or Ethereum go above their all-time high next year, 4-year cycle is like definitively broken. If they're $1 under the all-time high, 4-year cycle, they're still going to be in cope. They're still going to be like, oh, yep, it's a lower high. It's a lower high. It's a lower high. So Bitcoin has to actually touch 130 next year, and then that'll be 4-year cycle broken if it got there. But you can see the trap forming, right? If that happens, okay? Remember, I don't know if it's going to go up, but if we did get up there, all these people who have their bids from 75 to 45K, they will have to come and chase it higher. And there'll be whatever story you can think of, okay, that's going to really squeeze them by the balls. And look, friends, I'm just telling you now, I'm trying to think of what would be the mammoth trap. Look what they did to gold. Central banks are buying, brother. Yeah. It's a dirty game. It's a dirty game. This time is different. Yeah. What would make them say this time is different? If Bitcoin breaks the all-time high and you actually hear that China and or / America are actually printing money to buy Bitcoin, or they're talking about it, or they've hinted it, or whoever the next Fed replacement is, Major Loser Powell's replacement, he actually says it. He goes, you know what? we're thinking about adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet. Imagine they just say that, friends. Like, friends, you got to just think about every single person who sold this year. Their mind will explode. Because I go, oh shit, this time really is different. There's central banks clicking buy. Look what they did with gold, friends. Like, how did we get to a place where retailers are lining up to buy the Pico top of gold? Now, I'm not saying it is going to be the Pico top forever, but that's exactly how we got them up here, right? And I've just added the pictures here just so you can see. This is pretty much it, friends, right here. Okay, Uncle Peter shift. Gold's more likely to hit $1 million in Bitcoin and people lining up. I was here, friends. I remember I was asking people, I was like, bro, gold's high. And what was the replies? All these boomers come out. What are they saying? They go, no. You don't know who's buying. Do your research. These retailers are smart. There's a central bank's buying. China's buying. Russia's buying. The central banks are buying. Boom. That was the top, the exact top. Literally on the hour, the weekend. Literally to the hour, dude. So, to me, I'm going to have an abundance mindset. To me, that's a calling from the universe telling me, man, if we break the all-time high next year, I'm just be prepared. Okay, look, friends, we're ready for war. That's why we're here. We're ready for war. We've got our ciggies and we've got our poker balls. Okay, if it's garbage for 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 years, okay, it's garbage. We're ready. DCA, if you have spare cash and ammo, hibernate. We're gonna keep here, stay here building. That's the bad scenario. Whatever goes up and breaks the all-time high, though, we're ready. Okay, we'll be talking about this for a long time. What if next year ends with literally central banks going, yeah, we're going to print some money and actually buy Bitcoin? Don't believe the lies. You've seen it now. Don't believe the lies. Okay, but it's a long way to go. And you got to remember, it will be more powerful and hard, the force to keep you in. Because people who have been, you got to remember, friends, the bull market ends when you kill the final bear. That's when the bull market ends. You've defeated all the bear bosses. If the 4-year cycle Jeets soy boy scum, if they come in, you're going to feel so good because they're all on your side now. They go, yeah, this time is different. They're printing money. I'm going to have a 4-year view, a 5-year view. That's okay. We're going to drop 30 to 50%. It can't go below X number. No one's saying that now. What's X dollars for Bitcoin? I don't know what it is. You never know. It might fool everybody, friends. Like, it might be Bitcoin goes to, you never know, man. Like, it might actually hit like 230K. And everyone says, we'll never go below 100. 100 stupid. Maximum will go back to 120. And then it hits like 90 or 80 in the next pair. You see what I mean? Like, but we don't have that trap. Right now, everyone's like saying, oh yeah, cool, I'll buy 55 to 75. So that's all I want to give you this very special update, friends, to just show you where we are. And yeah, back to the BTC chart. BTC, friends, long way to go. You got levels here, 75. And you have these up here. Now, remember, just pure squiggly line action. I'll just show you, just to give you, just to tell you something, okay? Remember, there's no basis for these. I've seen this price action 50,000 times because I've lost money fighting it. All right, that's how I know this. When something is down this low and dies, and you can tell everybody wants a relief bounce so they can get short, normally you do not get the relief bounce like that. It doesn't end up looking like that, usually. Everybody's talking about it. Usually what happens is you get the most annoying, boop, boop, very annoying, okay? It ends up looking like this garbage thing, and you just like, there's no short. You can't, like, you never get the short. Everyone's like, dead cat bounce, dead cat bounce, dead cat bounce. That's why everyone keeps guessing and guessing and guessing. That's actually what happened after zombie virus as well. All right. So we'll take it day by day. 2026, what lies around the corner? Yeah, it could get a whole lot worse. It's just, I showed you that big deviation price, right? You're looking at this. This is interesting, right? Because global liquidity, they're increasing it next year. They're not pulling back. They're not pulling back at all. What's going to happen? I'm going to keep holding. Like, subscribe, belly button, all. Catch you soon.